Clear. Check.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
You better bring.
And to give this time to the tailback. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the 38, Wilson under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Darren Lee picks it, and they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now Stafford. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Flush to his right. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Jadeveon Clowney showing the explosiveness on the sack.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
We got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball. Let's keep moving.
Now it's Wilson. He's got him in, complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Paris Campbell, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Let's go, dude. Alert! Let's get this.
Stafford. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. A shotgun snap for Stafford. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Justin Coleman. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now, and I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
On 2nd down, it's Johnson. And he's taken down, but able to get this up to the 20-yard line. 11 yards there and a Lion first down. Now on the heels of that run by Johnson, here's another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jadeveon Clowney able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Stafford throwing on target to Jones, and they'll get him down right at around the 11-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down. 40. 180. 49. Ready?
3rd and long. It's Stafford. It's caught. Jones. They needed 19, and that's precisely what they got. And by the length of a football, it's a 1st down.
And the Lions first down.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They go back to the ground to Johnson. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Omaha, ready, move. Come get some. Come on here. Come. X3, 218, chop. Check.
Faking the give to Johnson. Now it's Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And that is the third sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Lions on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. To throw is Stafford. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here, 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
So not his arm, but hurting him with his legs. A gain of 19 on the keeper and a first down. On first down, Wilson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up.
End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. And this is no good. Missed the PAT, so they fail to connect, and this remains a 13-0 game. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This fielded at the 2. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Check tight, check tight, check tight.
Johnson. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. On 2nd and 9, Stafford. That's complete to the tight end, Everett. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. The extra point now coming from Myers. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Their own 26-yard line. Come on,
the Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
I know, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. The Lions on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Stafford. He's going to float this one deep right side. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 19.
All right, work with me, partner. This is a classic understatement. Their execution has been very poor. Last 3 drives, 2 interceptions and a fumble. Winning football? We're not seeing it right now.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14.
Run pass. You got 4. He's checking.
Now they try the right side here. Now it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. First down Seattle on a pickup of 13.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. Under pressure here, and down he goes. sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Wilson of the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Now Wilson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Now a high kick, almost a pooch punt. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. Not good at all. Punt of just 24 yards there. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw. Eason complete to Jones. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. The 1st down carry here for Johnson.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Eason. Got an open man. It's QT. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Detroit. Kiki QT. His first touchdown here of the new campaign as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off down near the 5. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
The final shot before the break. Stanford. Jones has it. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. So we have come to halftime in what's already a two-touchdown game. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford rolling to his right. And he's going to keep it here. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
The best quarterbacks that ever played the game all wanted to blend in with their teammates and be one of the guys. But sometimes you got to take modesty and put it aside. You're the franchise quarterback, the face of the team, and the guy that leads them to victory. You have to get down and protect yourself and not take hits like that.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
Hey, 50. Hey, Delta. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
They are going to go for it. It's Stafford. And he will find his man on the outside. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
250. 10.
1-yard gain.
From the 50, it's Stafford. Sliding out of the pocket. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Galladay. And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Detroit. Kenny Galladay, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as his guys are back within a single score. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. A run there on 1st down gets 3 up to the 28. Trey Flowers there on the tackle.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
The throw right sideline here is complete. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down. Executed it to perfection. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he is going to lose yardage here. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
I'd say the staff that's up in the booth watching the game, they may want to file that one away. See how fast the free safety closed to make that play? Might want to check into a throw the next time.
Get the ball.
This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Now those linemen, of course, can't be more than a yard downfield when a pass is thrown, and they might have been able to call that on a couple of guys there. Now Wilson on second down. Campbell making the catch. Now he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 28. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line.
Alert. Let's go.
From the gun, it's Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 20, the 40, 30. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Off the play fake. Eason. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field, it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And down inside the 15 he goes. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
49, guys. Mike, 49. Set the tone, defense. Let's go. Five.
On 1st and 10, Eason. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Jaron Reed in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Hey, team 6. Go.
Operating from the gun, Eason. And a diving grab. I think he got that, yes. Despite a pickup of 16, they're still well short of the sticks on 4th.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Well, now they'll try the end around. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call. They
try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? It creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Wilson. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. They go to Johnson again. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on third down. The Lions on third down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the number 1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. I guess they're in a situation now, fourth quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple, down to the 15-yard line.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Monday. Hey, Charlie.
They snap it to Stanford. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off inside the 5. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal? End the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. Well, the big play pushes him all the way out to the 40 now for first down. Now a give right side. It's Carson. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on, because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing really well.
Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Carson. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. First down, Seattle, 16 yards the game there.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate. Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Now a handoff here to his running back. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Here comes play number 9 now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Going to give this time to the tailback. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is right down the middle. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we